What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the show. I'm Tal, your sweet Zionist prince, the traveling clad, coming to you live from Israel. Let's take a look at a clip from Ben Shapiro.
Hi. If Israel is justified in killing civilians because of the acts of terror committed by Hamas, why isn't Hamas justified in doing what it did? Because Israel is keeping 13,000 children. It has tried them in military courts. Since the establishment of Israel, 55,000 Palestinian homes have been bulldozed. So why isn't Hamas justified in doing what it did if we use your logic?
So I'm going to answer your question, then I'm going to ask you a question if you don't mind. Is that all right? So my answer is that Israel would not be justified in killing Palestinian civilians because of the actions of terrorists. Israel would be justified in attempting to kill terrorists, and civilian casualties are a cost of war. That is just a reality of life. During World War II, there were 70,000 Brits who died during the Blitz bombing, and there were 2 million Germans who died, civilians who died during World War II. And I don't see a lot of monuments in Britain because of the 2 million civilians who died in Germany. The costs of war are brutal, they're terrible, they're horrifying. There's a vast difference in moral scope between deliberately going into a civilian area and murdering everyone you can find and trying to kill a terrorist who is deliberately hiding beneath a civilian area, hiding their rockets in civilian areas, starving their own people. There is a vast difference. Okay, so now I get to ask my question, if you don't mind. So my question is, do you believe that there is a moral difference between Hamas going into, for example, Kfar Aza and murdering entire families, and Israel attempting to target terrorists and accidentally hitting civilians?
Israel is effectively doing the same because Gaza is the most densely populated region in the world. There are 15,000 people per square mile.
So does Hamas get immunity because they're there? So Hamas gets immunity. So
Israel has killed 3,500 children in the past 3 weeks. That's more children. That's more children than have died in conflicts around the world in each of the last 4 years.
So just to be clear, your logic is that if you're a terrorist group located in a densely populated community and you hide behind civilians, you're now immune.
Where are the children meant to go?
So you're immune. Okay. That's a violation of the Geneva Conventions, but okay. You're now immune. Your logic is that if you're a Hamas terrorist...
Sorry, since 2005, 23 out of every 24 conflict deaths have been Palestinian. I don't see any moral equivalency there.
This is, by the way, fake statistics, okay? Just for you guys to understand, in the last 20 years... Sorry, I can't shut up about it. In the last 20 years, in Somalia alone, 580,000 people have been killed. In the Congo, it's been 5 million. 5 million. In Sudan, it has been 50,000 since the beginning of 2024. I don't even know how much it's up to now, because that's the number I remembered in the middle of 2024. In Lebanon, it's been about 300,000. In Syria, over 500,000. In Yemen, 380,000. Her statistics are completely off. The Palestinians are not being killed like that. The problem is when they report on Palestinian deaths, they do not report them as terrorists. There's a lot of Palestinian terrorists being killed by Israel because Israel's very good at killing terrorists. But they don't report Palestinian terrorist deaths. They just report them as a Palestinian. A woman or a child is seen in the same light as Yahya Sinwar, who was the mastermind behind October 7th, who was killed by the IDF and put on a list of women and children killed in Gaza. Riddle me that shit, ladies and gentlemen. Riddle me that shite.
It's clearly unjust what the IDF has been doing to the Palestinians because there's a vast disparity between the number of Palestinians being killed and the number of Israelis.
I mean, I would certainly hope that Israel is killing more Hamas
This isn't
members.
A conflict. This isn't a conflict. This is one-sided ethnic cleansing.
So, again, I'm just asking you, if based on the numbers, more Germans died than Brits in World War II, did that mean that the British were wrong in World War II? Because they did. Many more Germans died than Brits. Based on the numbers, does that mean that Britain was wrong in World War II?
Britain wasn't bombing civilians.
Ben Shapiro, I love you.
There's a clear difference.
You should talk to the people in Dresden, but you can't because they're dead.
Oh my God, sweetheart, Habibti, Arohi, Ismani, Habibti, Oskut, Habibti, Oskut, Habibti, Bin Fadlik, Oskut. You don't understand what you're talking about. The problem is, you thought the Yehudi was a white colonizer. You could speak to him however you want. But he got you. This is it. He got you. You are very stupid. Very stupid. Inti majnuna. You are very stupid. The problem is, these people come with no information. They come with no information. And they don't care. Don't make them think for one... Even if she's Palestinian, I truly believe she doesn't care. I don't even think she's Palestinian, but... I truly believe that they don't care. They're just there because they don't like Jewish people. That's the reality. They don't know any Jewish people. The only Jewish people they know are the ones who are willing to pull a blind eye to the crimes of the Islamists and the crimes of the Muslims against the Jewish people. I've got a bone to pick with her. Where are my goddamn reparations? If it's such an ethnic cleansing, okay? If it is an ethnic cleansing, why has the Palestinian population grown tenfold since 1948? I'll say this in every goddamn video if I have to. Until everybody watching here subscribes to the channel and supports my channel. By the way, you can buy merchandise and support me by going to thetravelingclat.com, getting amazing merchandise just like this. Put me on your body. Everybody knows it's a good idea. Travelingclat.com. You can get this dodo. You can get that hat behind me, not the Quran, the hat. You can even get these stickers. They're so awesome. Travelingclat.com. It really goes a long way to support the channel. She does not care about the Palestinians. Why have Palestinians grown tenfold in Palestine, from the river to the sea, between the river to the sea, in Gaza, the West Bank, and Israel proper? Their population has grown from 700,000 in 1948 to over 6 million goddamn people, ladies and gentlemen. In Gaza, the highest estimates of the death count hover around 50,000. Highest estimates. IDF claims 25,000 combatants have been killed. That means 25,000 Palestinian potential innocent civilians, which the numbers are extremely obscure, have been killed. 68,000 babies were born in Gaza. Palestinians are propagating that number, not Israelis, Palestinians. Where's the ethnic cleansing? Where's the genocide? Now, here's where I want my fucking reparations. How many thousands of Jews were in Iraq before 1948? How many thousands were there? In 1941, when the Farhud happened, when Iraqi Muslims came in the middle of the night to Jewish Iraqis like my grandma and my grandpa and came to slaughter them with swords in their houses in the middle of the night, came to behead them. Where are my goddamn reparations for the hundreds of thousands, over 900,000 Mizrahi Jews that were ethnically cleansed from Arab lands, from Muslim lands, from the lands that Jews inhabited thousands of years before Muslims or Arabs or even a thing? Talk to me about genocide looking at.
I agree that war is horrible, but this is not a just war. What Israel is doing is not a just war. There is a difference between fighting the Nazis.
So it is not a just war to
fighting the Nazis.
It is not a just war when you fight a war against people who murder 1,500 of your civilians and take 233 of them, at last count, captive into tunnels. It is not a just war to obliterate them. Please name a just war.
Israel's been killing civilians for the past 75 years, and there was no headlines about it, and nobody said that the Palestinians were
Israel
justified
does not purposefully kill civilians. Palestinian terrorists do.
Israel has not purposefully killed civilians. Are you willing to stand by that statement?
If Israel put down its guns tomorrow, there would be a second Holocaust. If the Palestinians put down their guns tomorrow, there would be a Palestinian state. That is the reality. And let me ask you this.
There would not be a Palestinian
settlement. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you. I'm just going to ask you the last question. The same question I asked her. Which part of Palestine is occupied?
The entirety of Palestine, but
there we go.
I'm not
Thank you
calling
once
for
again.
the destruction of Jews.
I appreciate you expressing your full genocidal intent for the Jewish people living between the river
and the sea. Why is it genocide?
From the river to the sea, baby.
It's not apartheid. You can have a state where all citizens have equal rights, Jews and Muslims.
I'm sure that's going to go amazingly under the same people who are governing the Gaza Strip, where currently zero Jews live.
The time. Can we move on to the next question, please?
Yes. By the way, they fight for equality so hard in the Middle East when there's literally zero example of it in not one Arab or Muslim country in the world. Not one. There is not a single Muslim or Arab country in this world where there is equality. Yet, when it's Jewish, it has to be equal. Has to be equal. Fuck out of here. What you talking about? I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one. I love you a long time. Support my channel. Buy some merch. Put me on your body. Love you guys. Bye-bye. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.